So my message to you, retention. We all should be trying to figure out how we help students attain their goals and complete. And to do that, we have to keep them at Montgomery College until they meet their goals, preferably with a degree or certificate or whatever their goals might be.
Hi, I'm Jason Rivera, and this is Campus Conversations. One of the most common buzzwords in higher education right now is completion. With me now are Dr. Deborah Preston, Montgomery College's Dean for the Arts, and Susan Madden, the college's Chief Government Relations Officer. Susan, I want to start with you. Can you tell me what completion is and how this all came about?
I'm glad you used the word buzzword, because that's how I really think of the phrase completion agenda. Because what it's really about is about American public higher education doing a better job at both access and success. Community colleges in particular have long focused on access, being the place that prides itself in wide open doors. Come see us, we will meet you where you are and get you started on your journey to a college degree or training and other credentials. But what we need to do as part of this completion agenda is not only focus on access, but focus on success. Not only getting students through the door, but out the door. Mm-hmm. Get them in, get them educated, and get them out, and doing it in a more timely and efficient way. So how did this all start? Well, really it started with two major foundations out there, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Lumina Foundation. They have very strong social justice missions, and they were worried about underrepresented students gaining access and then being successful in higher ed. And then that complemented with the Obama administration on the completion agenda really lit a fire on this public policy debate back in 2008 and 2009. So why did they care about all of this? They cared because, as the president said, the United States lags worldwide in the number of college graduates. Mm-hmm. As a technical matter, we are probably ranked 5th in the world with college-educated residents in our nation. But in degree production among our younger population, we're now 15th in the world. And so he said, to be able to compete in the global economy, we need to do better on educating our folks. Well, why is that? Because the jobs of the future are going to require some kind of post-secondary education. Mm-hmm. A high school diploma is not going to allow you to earn a living wage in the nation, much less Montgomery County, where we are and always have been a knowledge-based economy. Right. That coupled with the significant number of baby boomers who are about to retire, that means we're going to have huge job openings in jobs that have been traditionally not filled by people at the lower rung of the socioeconomic ladder, minorities, et cetera. And who's in the pipeline in Montgomery County? First generation college goers. Our school population is now minority majority. Right. So we have to go back to the basics of our access mission for that community, but then also make a new promise to them about we're going to help them succeed. And that's what the completion agenda is really about. So
it sounds like this is an educational movement.
Yes, I like that word.
So how are we at the college level, and particularly at the community college level, maybe Deborah, you can respond to this. How are we at the community college level dealing with this idea of completion, given that at the community college level there are so many different reasons why people come to us?
Well, that's exactly, there are also so many different reasons people don't succeed, and many times it has nothing to do with the person's innate ability to do the academic work. There's so many other factors that can hinder a student's progress, everything from financial to family, needing to work, having so many other obligations as so many of our community college students do. And so one of the things we have to focus on is making sure we have the right support services in place, because they need to have a place to go to get the extra help, the extra counseling, the extra financial aid, so that something other than academics doesn't become the stopping point. Right. And even if they are struggling academically, sometimes we can do a better job of helping them through tutoring centers, through learning centers, through mentoring. There are lots of things we can do once a student is here to help them succeed, to help them stay on track. Sometimes it's as simple as creating a clear plan for them. because so often a student who's maybe a first-generation college student comes to college, and in high school they've essentially been told what to take.
Right.
And then they get here and we say, well, there's all these things you can do and all these things you can take, and it can be overwhelming for someone who doesn't have sort of a background or older siblings in college to navigate that. So we also need to do a better job of helping them figure out what they want to do, helping them see the light at the end of the tunnel, and helping them make a plan to get there. That has been shown to be effective time and time again.
So what are we doing here at Montgomery College?
Here at Montgomery College, we are, first of all, just refocusing our attention and energy on the completion agenda, and that's a big part of it. We're also helping students see the value of getting the associate's degree. I think so often in the past, if a student wanted to transfer with just a few classes, we said, great, that's, we're done, they've transferred. And instead, what we're trying to do is help them see the value of an associate's degree, help them find pathways that not only get them through Montgomery College, but on to the next institution by creating articulation agreements, by helping them make choices early in their 2-year program that will facilitate their success in the 4-year program, and thinking about what skills we need to teach them so that they won't just be successful with us, but beyond.
So we're really talking about transferable skills that they'll be able to.
Yes, absolutely. Focusing on this.
Deb talked about the word pathways, and I'm glad you said that, because that's a word that's in a new Maryland law.
Yes.
And I'm going to read it because it's long. The College and Career Readiness and College Completion Act of 2013. And in that law, it very specifically says Maryland's higher education institutions must create pathways for students. We have to have a student, when they first enroll here, first-time degree-seeking students must now file what's called a degree plan. They've got to create that degree plan with their advisor, and then we have to help them have a pathway from the day they start till the day they finish. So we got to give them, as I like to tell my kids about all their school projects, everything has a beginning, middle, and end. So we have to give that to them and show them the benchmarks to progress to their degree or certificate. So,
and check in with them.
Right.
Make sure they're hitting those benchmarks.
Correct, and that's a key obligation within the bill too, checking in. And if you're on the precipice of not succeeding or meeting an appropriate benchmark, you have to go see your advisor. The bill also requires you got to take your English and math within the first 24 credit hours, and you have to take your credit class right after your developmental class.
It sounds like there's a lot in that bill that's really going to help move the completion agenda
Yes.
along. We've come to the end of our time. Is there a way for people to find out more about that bill?
Oh, you can go on the Maryland General Assembly website and type in Senate Bill 740, and it will pop up right in front of you. It's a little bit long. Certainly call me, email me, susan.madden@montgomerycollege.edu, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of the bill or chat with you about it.
Great. Thank you very much. Registering for college can be a difficult and winding path. At Montgomery College, we hope to make the path smoother. Marcus Rosano has the details.
The college is committed to making sure students start strong from that very first point of contact all the way up to graduation. Now, sure, montgomerycollege.edu is an excellent resource, but if students can't find answers to their questions, we have people here to help.
The Montgomery College Response Center is the general information line for Montgomery College. We answer the phone when you call 240-567-5000.
College, how may I help you?
We are able to provide the community with general information about the college. We have a lot of information at our disposal as a resource for providing students with answers to their questions. We have our website, which has a lot of useful information and published documents and catalogs. And we have a lot of experience.
If you are on campus, Montgomery College just recently opened up these brand new welcome centers that can really help students navigate their ways. Amy Rozek is the college's Director of Student Access, and she is responsible for getting these centers up and running.
We really only get one chance at a first impression. So when a student comes into the Welcome Center, I want them to feel that this is a welcoming environment. The folks there are going to smile at them and help them navigate all of the barriers that they might see as a first-time college student. The Welcome Centers are going to help students navigate the enrollment process. So aside from general information and questions about the college, such as where is this building, what time does my class begin, it will be providing assistance with the application, going through the financial aid process, navigating MyMC for registration, giving some assistance in helping select class times, not necessarily classes, as that's done with a counselor, but helping a student move from the very beginning through the point of when they'll begin classes. We've hired 8 wonderful individuals to work in our Welcome Centers that will be dispersed across the Germantown campus, the Rockville campus, and then we also have a small Welcome Center in Manatee. The folks that we've hired have been working within higher education for many, many years. Many of the folks working in the Welcome Center actually have either attended MC as a student or have worked within another department. At any time during a student's journey here at MC, they'll have a spot that they can go and ask somebody. And it's probably going to be that nice person that they dealt with as a new student. So if they're confused, not quite sure what department do I go to next, come back to the Welcome Center and we'll help them triage and find the way to be successful.
Montgomery College's Start Smart information sessions and this pamphlet get students on the path to completion. The Start Smart pamphlet is available at the Counseling and Advising Office and contains a 10-item checklist for new students. These information sessions help students get on the right path. If students have chosen a major, they may be able to attend a session specifically for their major and have the opportunity to meet with counselors and hear about clubs, special programs, and scholarship opportunities. And Montgomery College has a great program designed just for first-year students. It's a great way to get involved and enjoy college success.
The First Year Experience program at Montgomery College is a series of 5 things that come together to help freshman students, whether they start in the fall or the spring, to navigate the system of college. The first way is with new student advising, where they come in, they sit down with the counselor, they talk to us, they figure out what courses they need to take. The second thing is new student orientation, and that is run through the Office of Student Life.
The Office of Student Life, college-wide, really supports students on their co-curricular journey. So we are the learning outside of the classroom. We like to provide students with fun activities, educational activities, volunteer activities for them to really connect to the campus in a way that they wouldn't be able to do anywhere else. New student orientation is currently not required, but we strongly encourage and suggest all of our students to attend. We show them all the different ways they can connect, whether it's through our club program, whether it's through our service learning component, or just volunteering on the campus, or even off campus. We offer many opportunities out there. So we want to connect them. We want them to get involved because we know when students get involved, it impacts their success tremendously.
Next on the list, first-year seminars. This is a 1-credit class that teaches students the ins and outs of college and helps them to put together an education plan.
That is a roadmap to success for our students. It helps them to pick courses from their first semester through completion so that they know exactly what they need to take every semester. And then we have programs and services for our new students, everything from gatherings to workshops that help them to better understand what it is they need to do. The research has shown that students who participate in the DS 107 course have an 83% retention rate versus a 73% retention rate of the college as a whole. So they are learning something that causes them to persist. The Bridge to College Success is an opportunity for students to get a jump start on planning for their college success. The course, which runs for 2 weeks during the summer and for 7 weeks during the fall and spring, is a combination of the DS 107 course, which is the freshman seminar, and in the summer, it has an enrichment component. We teach them what they don't know, how to navigate the college system, where are the buildings, what type of math is going to be required for my major, how do I navigate the chemistry diagnostic, what does it mean to be a STEM student. All of the things that they wouldn't necessarily know coming in, we teach them in the enrichment portion. They visit the Career Transfer Center, the financial aid office comes over and speaks to them. So they get a wide breadth of the information that they would need to be successful walking in. So all of these activities get them involved with faculty, with staff, with other students, people that they will listen to, people that they can keep coming back to when times are good to celebrate, and when things start going bad to say, okay, what do I do now? That's why they're important, because they help our students persist.
My best advice for any new student is to get connected in whichever form that means for them. So if they have an hour, a week, a month, or if they have more time, but to really connect to our community.
Get involved, get connected, see an advisor.
What great advice. Get involved, get connected, and see an advisor. With me now are two people who know how the stresses of being pulled in many directions at once can affect the student's ability to persevere and succeed in college. Derek Carter, the college's interim athletic director, and former American University basketball player Stephanie Anya. Derek, I want to start with you. I want you to just, if you can, just give us an idea of what our athletic program is and what it means for students here at Montgomery College.
Okay, we compete in the NJCAA Division III level of junior college, and we have 11 sports, and we have opportunities for student athletes to fulfill their college dreams and compete in intercollegiate athletics at a high level. We've been very successful, and we do a great job of developing well-rounded student athletes and getting them to do the right thing in the classroom and succeed both athletically and academically.
Okay, I want to talk more about that, this idea of getting them to succeed in the classroom and athletically. But you mentioned that there were 11 sports.
Yes.
What are some of those sports?
Well, I'll go in the fall. We have men's and women's soccer, volleyball, and men's tennis.
Okay.
We transition during the winter months to men's and women's basketball, and then during the spring we have baseball, softball, and women's tennis.
Wow, that's pretty well
And
rounded.
indoor, outdoor track and field, men's and women's.
Pretty impressive. And Stephanie, how do you fit into all of this?
Well, I played at American University for 4 years. I know one of the counselors here, Miss Dana Baker, who runs the FYE program, first year experience.
Okay.
And I was a student mentor this summer, and I was predominantly working with student athletes for the first week. It was kind of a trial run, working with 8 great student athletes who range from basketball to football to even individual sports like equestrian teams, kind of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so I just worked with them using both what I know as being a student athlete, working with time management and just being healthy in your sport with what the FYE program brings, which is basically getting ready for college, making that transition.
So you said you were a student athlete yourself.
Yes.
What type of sport did you play?
I played basketball.
Okay,
Yeah.
and how did you balance the academic piece with the athlete responsibilities?
Well, I had always been, I guess, bright, you might want to say, in high school, but going into college, it's completely different. It's not really, you have to be smart, of course, to be able to do well, but time management, especially when you're playing a Division I sport, it's like a full-time job. It's very difficult to know, I have practice for 4 hours in the middle of the day. I have classes in between that, like when am I going to sleep, when am I going to eat, when am I going to have time for friends, because you need that when you're in college. So I had to juggle that. In my freshman year, I didn't do that good of a job, like understanding why attainment management was so important. But as I grew older, from sophomore year to senior year, I figured out and I understood what I needed to do to be successful both in the classroom as well as on the court.
And you're able to share that with the athletes that you mentor now.
Yes.
That's incredible. And so I'm assuming that's one part of the way that we provide support for our student athletes in terms of academics.
Sure.
Let's talk about some other ways. What are some of the other ways that we do that?
Well, we require our student athletes their freshman year to enter study hall. And that's a way that we can ensure that they are paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing academically. So, and then we do mid-semester grade checks, and we try to establish good relationships with the faculty, so that if we have any red flags that we need to be aware of, that we're notified. And then, you know, we monitor. We ask the coaches to have the right conversations to understand how to ask the proper probing questions of how everyone is doing academically, and we work well with the other units on campus, registrar's office, just to make sure everyone's full-time enrolled as a full-time student, and that we don't get any make any mistakes that could damage us in terms of anyone's eligibility.
Now, I know that one of the things that we also do is we get our student athletes involved in community projects.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about the community projects that athletes
Well,
get involved in.
what we're really trying to expand this. This is something that I'm committed to, our staff is committed to, is to get our athletes out in the community to say, these are the great things that we're doing, and we want the community to be part of our program. It's win-win for us, and we want the community to embrace our student athletes, to say, hey, you guys are doing great things, and in turn, come and watch the athletes compete athletically and offer support that way. So we look at it as a win-win for both parts, but it's important for us to reach out to the community to show our athletes that they are role models, that they can be mentors to young people, and continue to set the examples that we want them to set.
That's terrific. So how would an individual find out about how to support athletes by coming to a game or any of those things?
Well, all of our athletic schedules are on our website, on our athletic website that is part of the college's website. And then we're really reaching out through social media avenues as well. That is the way to connect to a lot of people these days. So we have a Facebook, we have a Twitter account that is active, and all of those sites are available, and you can see them on our athletic website.
That sounds great. Is there anything, we're coming to the close of our segment, is there anything that you want to make sure our viewers know about connected to athletics before we end the segment?
Well, what I would like to let the viewers know is that we are very proud of our accomplishments. We've had many teams compete in national competition, national championships, but we're also committed to developing our young people and preparing them for whatever they want to do when they leave Montgomery College, whether it's competing athletically or just moving on and into mainstreaming into the regular student population at a college or university. But we take our job seriously, and we want to prepare young people for life.
Well, I appreciate that, and I want to thank the both of you, Stephanie, for your work with our athletes, and Derek for your work with our coaches and our athletes to make them successful.
Thank you.
Some of the most inspiring stories are those we hear from our Montgomery College alumni. Here's one of them.
I have a bachelor's degree in biology from Coppin State College in Baltimore. I worked 4 years at Uniform Services University in the pathology department doing research, and really enjoyed that, really loved that. Along the way, I had 5 children in a row, and decided, you know, I had to stay home with my family. So I was home with my family for about 5 years, and then the key was to get back into the workforce quickly, and I accomplished that with, you know, Montgomery College and the experience I got there, then also to get a position where someone would pay for me to go to school, and that's what I have here. Right now I work as a research specialist at University of Maryland. It's the Brain and Tissue Bank. I actually received the position here. I got a position a year after I had gotten to the program.
It wasn't just coursework, but she also obviously had the hand-on experience that I really needed in the lab. She has been really great to work with. I have placed great reliance on her to do many different projects, even to develop some new projects that we hadn't had before, and I have complete confidence in Kimberly.
So then I was in a dilemma of, well, do I finish? Because I got what I wanted, got the job, and you know, got the experience I needed, but I really wanted to complete that, you know, just to have it under my belt to say I did it.
Kimberly T. White.
So I graduated in 2012 and I received an associate's in applied science and biotechnology. I'm working on my master's degree at UMBC, taking a class at a time. They have a master's of professional science program that I'm taking in the evening. I take one class a semester, and then also, crazy like I am, I'm doing another program at Walden University online, and that's the clinical research administration job. So it leads me and it gives me more of the clinical research atmosphere about the protocols, but it's more, you know, running the clinical program. I didn't think I would be here doing pediatric brain research at 46, but I am, and it's like a full circle for me, and it empowers me to, you know, I love to learn, so to keep on, you know, trying and go for your goals. I don't pay any tuition for my graduate school, and all my kids get to go to school for free. So it's awesome, yeah, in the University of Maryland school. So it's a really good opportunity for them, and, you know, I feel like I kind of made things happen.
Marcus, Kimberly White is a great example of student success and perseverance.
She really is, and that brings us to the closing about completion agenda. Unfortunately, the numbers don't lie, Jason. We are getting our butts kicked internationally. Right now, 39% of Americans have attained post-secondary credentials, associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees. We are moving way down the list internationally. But in the completion agenda, they're targeting by 2020 nationally to have 50%. So we have to raise that number of 39, 11% by 2020. And in Maryland, we're even upping the ante. We're targeting 55% completion rate of post-secondary credentials in the state of Maryland.
Right, and complicating that even further are the statistics for our low income and our minority students, which are drastically low.
The numbers are scary when it comes to low income and minority students. By 2040, 2045, the minority population in the United States is going to become the majority. But at Montgomery College, that is the case. That is what's happening now. So why wouldn't we, as an institution, lead the charge for the completion agenda and getting students ready and getting students, the success rates up? And Kimberly White, as we just have seen, is a wonderful example of this, and she truly is a role model and a model of success.
Absolutely. From all of us here at Campus Conversations, thanks for watching.